Otto Kernberg describes how the narcissistic parent is unable to process sadness and grief and instead translates it into anger and resentment loaded with revengeful wishes. That the narcissistic and borderline personality cannot process sadness. And so when the divorce takes place, that narcissistic borderline parent, instead of processing the sadness around the divorce, turns it into anger towards the other spouse. And the narcissist is vulnerable to rejection. The borderline is vulnerable to abandonment. And so there's a slight difference in how they will express it. The narcissist, oftentimes, you will find a narcissistic husband, a narcissistic male. It tends to be more prevalent in males. And it has a domestic violence feel to it. And oftentimes you will have this narcissistic husband has been kind of berating and demeaning to his wife for kind of years. Finally, she can't tolerate it anymore. She divorces him, and he says, "How dare you divorce me? How dare you have the temerity to reject my magnificence? You'll be sorry you divorced me. I'm going to take what you most love in your world, your children, and I'm going to kill them for you. I'm going to take their love and destroy their love that you have with your children. You'll be sorry you divorced me." Whoa. Whoa. And people are letting him do that. Therapists are letting him do that. The court is letting him do that. And this mom is losing her kid for the years, decades, maybe the rest of her life, because of this narcissistic desire to get revenge on her because she had the temerity of divorcing him. The borderline mom is borderline personality is often associated with sex abuse. So there's a potential that she's been sexually abused as a kid. And so when the divorce happens, and she's afraid of abandonment, she's being abandoned by her ex. So one of the ways she manages her abandonment fears is, "I've got the children. You can't abandon me because I've got what you want. I've got the children. And as long as the children love me, I'm not the abandoned one. They're abandoning you. You're the one who's being abandoned, not me. I'm the wonderful parent who never is going to be abandoned." But in addition, when the children go over to spend time with their dad, her abandonment fears activate big time. She's tremendously anxious because they might develop a loving bond with him and then they're going to abandon her. So she gets really, really anxious every time the kids are separated from her. But she doesn't know where that anxiety is coming from. She just knows every time they're with their dad, I'm really anxious. Now, if she has a sex abuse trauma history in her own background, she begins to think, Dad is abusive of them. There's some sort of threat from Dad. Dad's a problem. And so she starts to develop these false beliefs that the children are somehow in danger from Dad. And so you get a lot of these allegations into CPS and things of child abuse. And CPS looks at it and says, "There's no child abuse here." But she continually maintains this high anxiety state with this. So